What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk about how anxiety made me afraid of just about anything and everything. It started out with health anxiety and heart anxiety, but as time went on, it turns out that it had really spread to pretty much every aspect of my life. Totally crippled me there for a while. And I know a lot of you guys are going to relate with this video, and hopefully it can make you feel less alone, because the reality with really bad anxiety, it can bring our life almost to a halt. It makes it hard to work, it makes it hard to travel, it makes it hard to be present or to enjoy just everyday things. And that was very much the case in my life. Before I was officially diagnosed with anxiety disorder at the age of, I believe I was 21, I was a fearful child in general. I just tended to be more afraid of things, I think, than other people. I went through all these different cycles where, I would fear police officers. I would have bad nightmares. I felt like I would see things, hear things as a child. I went through a stage where I was afraid to go number 2, right? Because I got constipated, had a bad experience, and then I started to get constipated all the time because I refused to go because it was so painful that one time. Turned into a whole ordeal, messed my whole digestive system up, kind of basically for life. Not severe, but I mean, it did kind of mess me up pretty much for most of my life. Went through that stage. I went through a stage where I was fearing death and dying. That started whenever I was like 10, 11 years old. Anyways, the point is, I went through a lot of different cycles. You could have argued that I had anxiety disorder as a child. It just didn't manifest really physically. I didn't have a ton of physical symptoms or a ton of like panic attacks. It was just a lot of, irrational thinking. It was a lot of catastrophizing. I already had that problem. And I think it just built and built and built until I was about 21, and I had that first 6-hour-long panic attack. Sorry, we got a plane flying over us here. So whenever I had that first panic attack, I became extremely fixated on my heart. Heart rate, chest pain, blood pressure, numbness, tingling. And of course, I had all kinds of other symptoms, don't get me wrong. But I just went through this intense period where I didn't have a lot of acceptance, and, it was back and forth with the doctors. And I just couldn't believe that anxiety could make my chest feel the way that it did. I didn't have any awareness. I didn't understand how anxiety worked. I didn't know you can have symptoms whenever you're not consciously anxious. I thought that going to the doctor and getting checked and being told that you're okay would make it go away. I didn't understand the negative consequences of checking my vitals all the time and Googling my symptoms and constantly putting fearful focus and fearful responses towards my symptoms. I just didn't understand everything that I obviously understand now and started to understand as I started to recover. But that's where it started, and then it bled into all these other areas of my life. Then I had a panic attack in the car, and now all of a sudden I'm terrified of driving. Not just driving in general, I was terrified of dying while I was in the car. So now it's hard for me to hold down a job. It's hard for me to go places longer than 5 minutes away. Hell, even just thinking about driving would make my vitals go up. I was afraid to go to the doctor. I know it seems kind of ironic, going a lot to get checked, but I was so afraid I was going to get told, bad news. I was afraid of getting my blood pressure checked at the doctor's office. I had white coat syndrome. I was afraid of going to the grocery store and the lights triggering me, or going to places where it was going to require me to be social. Crowds and stuff like that. I used to be a social butterfly, but after I had bad anxiety and anxiety attacks and all these physical symptoms, I was so afraid that was going to happen in front of people. Things that just seemed to be easy, like going to an interview. I would be, I used to be fine with that. Now doing an interview and I have anxiety disorder, I'm like dying inside, trying to hold it together. My speech is stumbling. Having to be on, just to do phone calls was stressful. You name it, guys. I went through a period of time where I was afraid to use the restroom for a couple of different reasons. Taking a hot shower would really make my vitals go up. I was afraid I was going to die naked in the shower. I was afraid to go number 2 and strain on the toilet because I didn't want to have a heart attack and to be found in that situation. So I would try to make my bathroom breaks really, really fast as I could. My showers as fast as I really could. I was afraid of medicines, supplements, vitamins. I had a lot of anticipatory anxiety on how it was going to make me feel. Geez, what else? I mean, things like flying. I used to be okay with getting on an airplane. Didn't fly one time during my 5-year stint with anxiety disorder. Used to love getting on roller coasters. I was the guy that would wait extra long or get the fast pass, whatever, so I could be in the first row and ride it over and over and over again. Didn't go to one amusement park during my 5 year. Couldn't even imagine being in that situation. So I wasn't doing that. I became overly paranoid, you know, and again, it really, I mean, sure, you could say that I dealt with that whenever I was a child, but it really started when my physical symptoms started and my panic disorder started. And, you know, I had my heart anxiety, and it's just like the catastrophizing for that bled into every other part of my life. And then I just became overly paranoid about everything. I was afraid of watching certain movies or horror movies because I was scared it was going to cause me to be possessed. I was afraid of losing my mind constantly. Like, that was a big one, guys. I thought I was losing my mind. I thought I was going crazy. I was so afraid that I was going to be taken over or possessed, or that I was going to go into psychosis. You know, I was horribly afraid of the feelings of DPDR. I was just, guys, it bled into every aspect of my life, every single aspect of my life. So if you're going through this, you're not alone. And I'm telling you guys, if I could get out of all this, I know you can. It's hard. It's difficult. It's going to take time. It's going to take everything that you got. It's going to take hard work. It's going to take you changing everything. And some of you may not agree with me, but for me, at least I believe this. I felt like anxiety was a sign that I needed to grow as a person, and the lessons that I was going to learn during my recovery process were the things that were going to make my next chapter of my life, you know, livable and enjoyable and meaningful. You know, one of those things is I get to talk to you guys and try my hardest anyways to help you guys through these videos or through my coaching or through my course and stuff like that. And it has helped a lot of you guys, whether it be the videos or, you know, if you've ever done calls with me or if you've taken my course. I know a lot of people that have recovered from those things, and that's a blessing to be able to help. So that's one thing that I've gotten out of this, and learning to face my fears. There's so many fears that I had to and it's like I had to like work through them almost like one at a time, it seemed. Not all of them. There were some simultaneously things like being around people and in driving and dealing with my physical symptoms. Those were always things that I was having to face constantly at the same time. But just, guys, just try to chip away at this thing. It is okay to chip away at it. It is okay to get 1% better every week. There's nothing wrong with that. Stop putting a timetable on this thing, guys. Stop, you know, making you know, circling it a day on a calendar when you have a wedding or a trip or something coming up, or you got to go back to work at that time. Just have confidence that you will be in a better place when that time comes, and take this thing day by day. It's okay. Stop looking so far out. You know, if you're going to look out into the future, it needs to be visualization of you having a life free of anxiety. Outside of that, let tomorrow bring what it's going to bring. Try to enjoy today as much as you can, and do the things that you can today to hold yourself accountable for your anxiety recovery. You know, what could have you done better today? Some of you have been putting off working out. Some of you have been putting off, and that was another thing that I didn't even mention in a freaking video, dang it. I was horribly afraid of like exercise. I didn't want to get my vitals up, and I didn't want to risk anything happening with my heart. You know, that was a big breakthrough for me. Once I got past that, you know, I was able to start using exercise as a way of helping me with my health anxiety and my overall recovery. It was an amazing tool, But for about 2 years, I was so afraid of doing it because I didn't want to risk anything. Some of you are waiting on that. Don't wait anymore, because as great as it was when I found it, I wished I would have just broke through that wall a long time ago. You know what I mean? I always wondered, like, you know, maybe I would have shortened my, you know, stint with anxiety by doing that, or at least my heart anxiety. Stop putting things off. You know, if you got that anxiety book that you bought, read it. You know, if you've got access to therapy, do it. You know, anything that you've been waiting on, stop waiting. It's never going to be a perfect time to do anything. Some of you are just, you're not working on your exposure. Some of you just watch videos all day and you don't do anything that the videos say. I get that. I understand. I didn't just do that stuff with anxiety. I did that with a lot of things, creating an online business or trying to find motivation. There's a lot of times where I've just like watched videos on a certain subject and it's just like, that made me feel good and that was my comfort. And you have to act. Do what these videos say, you know. But I had to, and here's another thing whenever it comes down to fear, and, you know, I'll try to, you know, wrap this video up. It's okay to be scared. That's not what I'm trying to say. I had to just start trying to show bravery and courage. That's what your subconscious wants. And then your subconscious will see that these symptoms and these fears are not rational and not needed. These symptoms are not needed. You know, these thoughts are not needed. Pound cone. Yeah, try to show courage and bravery. Don't focus so much on just not being afraid. That'll come with time, because your confidence will go up with the reps, with the exposure, with the brave responses. And then guess what? The fear level goes down. When the fear level goes down, the symptoms start to go down and you start to get better and you desensitize. So guys, if you want more help, you know, I mentioned coaching, I mentioned my course. Those two options are down below in the description and in the first pinned comment. Check those things out. The course is called ELITE ANXIETY BOOTCAMP. That's gonna be down below. Guys, that's all I got for you today. I'll be making videos a little bit more consistently. Had a few things come up, so sorry for the delay and content and stuff like that. I'm gonna get that popping. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, please do that. And if you haven't followed me on TikTok, guys, I know some of you don't care for TikTok, I get it. But I've been posting longer form videos on there. They have that. It's not just 10, 20-second videos. In fact, I'm not posting those types of videos anymore. So I'll be posting a few of those every single day. Anywhere from, you know, 1 to 2 minutes all the way up to 10 minutes is their max limit. So check that out. Yeah, guys, please subscribe if you are new. I doubt anybody that's new watched this far into the video. But things can get better. Things can get better. I promise they can. You have to put in the work and you got to be consistent with it. Stop expecting your subconscious to line up with everything all, like, you know, quickly. Some of you maybe get lucky. It might take a couple weeks, but for most of us, you got to start thinking in terms of months, not days or weeks. But I love you guys. Until next time, keep fighting.